Greetings and welcome to episode 235 of the Words About Games podcast, a weekly video game podcast for Words About Games. I started that intro specifically because I dropped the spiciest, nastiest Marvel take ever, and I didn't want any follow-up discussion. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, joined this week by Mr. Daffy Moody, host of the Glorious Movie Podcast. How the hell are you?
I am not bad at all, even after that incredible hot take you just dropped there. Wow, that was a spicy hot take, Amy. Spicy hot take.
No one
I think
will
I
ever
have to
know.
get you. I think I have to get you back on my podcast now for that spicy hot take,
to just say that
and then leave. Just drop the mic and leave.
Boom.
It'd be the perfect way ever. But no, I am not bad at all. Been pretty good this week. Potted on obviously on my college course and everything like that. I've got a good balance right now, so it should be okay for the majority for the rest of the year for you and me. Obviously, we've only got 2 weeks after this anyway, so
I know, right?
no.
I was like working out what games I was going to play for reviews and stuff, and then I was like, holy shit, there's only 2 review podcasts left for the entire year.
Yeah, that was true, yeah. So, yeah, I'm good. I'm not bad at all. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty good. I'm creating like this apart from what I just said to you, which is just hell yeah. I set myself up perfectly. I'm creating like this pile up of games where it's like I want to try these brand new games. However, you might notice my Xbox is turned on.
I know.
It's
Are you
because
installing something, or have you just left it on?
I've left a game pause that I was playing, and I paused it, and I went away, and I got ready, and I got my drink and stuff, and I sat down to record this podcast, and once we're done, I'm going to unpause it. And that game is from 2010. I've got a problem now.
No
Where it's
problem.
like, oh, thank you for the code, Mr. Developer person. Oh, look, this new game came out on Game Pass. I'll have that. Oh, look, this is a PS Plus game. And then I get them all, and then I go, however.
Hello, oldie but goodie.
Hello, old game. Yeah.
Yes, you'd like seriously. We are literally doing the same right now because that's what we've both been doing. Obviously, I've said several times like I went back to Dragon Age. I'm still pottering on with that. Obviously, I've had to stop my gaming just a little bit, obviously with my college. But yeah, it's we are crazy right now, especially as arguably the biggest game of the year is coming out next week as well.
It's like, oh, did you play any Cyberpunk game? No, I did. I was playing this other game. Sorry, you're on your own.
Well, I don't even know if I'll be able to play it. That's the thing about it. It all depends. I will know if I'll be able to next week.
I'll play some of it. I'm apprehensive because of the whole open worldness of the game, and it's just like, no, not another one.
Yeah, especially like I'm doing Spider-Man right now. I'm still just starting Miles. I'm gonna give Immortals a try. Like it's so many. Like if you count about the last freaking 3 months has been open world galore. It's crazy. I can appreciate that the developers, you want the big AAA studios, they want you to stay in their worlds and everything like that. But I'm just like, Ubisoft, you've released 3 open world games within 3 months. October, November, and December. Are you bonkers? The answer is yes.
Yeah, I haven't played any of them.
Yeah.
I have no plans to.
Yeah, so it's
I thought about maybe playing one of them, and then you talked me out of it. I was like, all right, cool. I guess I'll just not. I guess, and then, but weirdly enough, the game I am playing is an open world RPG.
And it's the same thing with like Dragon Age is an open world game, and I'm like, what is wrong with us? Right? I think it's
no. Do you know what? I think open world. Right. And, I dropped a spicy take just before we started recording. I'm spicy take now. I think open world fatigue is a myth. I think most open world games are just shit.
You hear me? That's not just a spicy take.
Because we have accidentally put some research into this now by going back and playing old open world games that we really like.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, hang on. Maybe it's not the open world. Maybe it's not open world games as a genre. Maybe it's just the open world games themselves. Maybe sorry, let me rephrase my take. Not open world games are shit. Maybe just like the open worlds in open world games are just a bit shit.
Yeah, I think you're not wrong. I think it's basically like Ubisoft have dropped 2 games that are both in England. We live in England. We don't want to play in the bugger. Even if one is medieval times and everything, it's still all the same. And everything. I heard Stockton one time saying, I live close to that bugger. I don't need to go there. And with trees and everything. I was like, bugger off.
I've been to Stockton. No. It's depressing. But then, like, so
I used to live next to it. I used to live next to it, so it's all right. But no, yeah, it's... no, I don't think that... I think what you said is the spot on. Like, I think it throws back to that amazing article that we talked about last week about which was funny enough from an Ubisoft career from a developer about like open worlds need to fundamentally change. You can keep the open world aspects and the aesthetic to it, but you need to fundamentally change them. And yeah, I think that goes deep even more, that article. So yeah. It's gonna be a fascinating next.
There's another one as well. What happened to fast travel? Because I played Miles, and then I'm playing this other game, which I'm being coy about because I'm planning on making a video about it, probably in the new year. Right? What happened to fast travel? Because in Miles, if you want to fast travel, I don't know you don't, but like let's just say for the sake of argument you do, and it's the same in most games. You have to go to a specific place to go to the fast travel point, and then fast travel to a specific place. In the game I'm playing, you just open the map, and as long as there's no enemies trying to chew your fucking head off, you just click the place, and it just takes you there. What happened to why did fast travel become more cumbersome?
Because they want you to explore the world and live in this world. So basically, they've read Ready Player One and watched the film.
Right.
And then it's like, we want people to live in these worlds. Literally.
Ha 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 ha. But no, I don't want to.
That's what the developers saw.
Like, oh, it's more realistic if they go to the taxi rank and get in the taxi and make the taxi drive. It's like, no, just let me push a button. So I can just go boop and I'm here in this other place where I want to be. Because if I can fast travel there, I've already walked there once.
I think one of the main issues, like one of the things, I'll go delve into a little bit of my college thing right now. We were asked the question, both me and my partner, what is it why we didn't pick our other ideas for our prototype that we are creating? And basically, the fundamental thing was simplicity and our core skill set. And the simplicity does, and I can see a lot of open world things are taken away. It's just little things, but the simple things away, like what you just said. Fast travel. Spider-Man does it perfectly fine. As long as you got no enemies around it, you can zip straight away. Even though deep down, we don't want to do that, ladies and gentlemen.
No, in Spider-Man, it's a moot point. You don't want to do that.
Spider-Man and everything. But yeah, it's like, but now in other open world games, you have to travel to a taxi place to get to the place. I was like, why? Why can't you just use your phone and say, yo, come and pick me up? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yo, Uber.
Open the map and go, I want to go there. And if you've already been there, it goes, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
One advantage of playing a 2010 game on an Xbox One X is the load times are just non-existent. It's fantastic. I don't even get a chance to read the tooltips. The game tips. It's boop, boop. Okay, cool.
It's same for me on Dragon Age. I'm just like, wow, I remember when I played this on my Xbox. This was slow at loading, even though I love this game. Now I'm on PC, I'm just like, oh shit, I'm back already.
Just like, kill the dragon. Just like, okay, loading screen. I'm just,
yeah. Time for a 1 minute drink.
Oh, no. But this isn't an open world podcast, although I suppose it is, really. It's well within our wheelhouse. But this is the Words About Games podcast, where we discuss news and announcements from around the games industry and gaming culture. Oh, that's right, motherfuckers. Amy rewrote the intro. In this week's episode, we discuss Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5 rumors, developers using the Xbox Series X and S to emulate PlayStation 2 games, and more. Then we'll give you a content drop where we recommend some articles you should read and some videos you should watch. We'll tell you what game is coming out next week, and we'll give you our pick of the week. Great way to start that. Before playing OpenCritic head-to-head, where we guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game.
Yeah, I think the new things that we've added in, or you've added in, we should have been waiting until the beginning of next year.
Nah, I did this 2 years ago as well. I just it was the last couple of podcasts before Christmas, and I was like, I'm going to try it. Because then if it doesn't work, I haven't done it as a big thing at the beginning of the year, and no one might forget, everyone might forget that I did it.
Well, you did it last year with the OpenCritic.
I did, didn't I? Yes, we started it, trialed it, and I was like, this is great, but I need a worthy competitor, and I found a worthy competitor.
Well, some just say I'm glorious, but...
Some do. Mostly you.
Oh, you got some spicy takes today. You're just dropping the bombs everywhere, just like, Amy, Amy, what have you got to say?
349 pounds. There are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube and also in all of the places where you get your podcasts from. Spotify and all those places, iTunes, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Deezer. Just as long as you're not using Google, you're good. Pretty sure at this point.
Google's still not got back to you.
I have an Android phone. I have a Chromebook. Like, I have invested heavily in the Google platform, and they're just ghosting me, and it's upsetting, Moody. I feel like I need to eat a full tub of ice cream and just cry in the shower. Should we get on with it?
The first piece of news.
Let's start with the first piece of news about Moody's favorite video game franchise of all time.
I love this franchise. I love it.
It's your favorite. I don't think I've ever heard you complain about any aspect of any of the games in the series.
This series whatsoever.
In slow motion over the course of an entire month, many hours.
I know. I remember amazing comments I was saying about this franchise.
Halo Infinite dev responds to Unfounded Battle Royale rumors. Time really is cyclical, and everything just happens over and over again. It is still 2020. This is from Annie Makusha over at GameSpot, who writes, Halo's community director has responded to a new rumor about Halo Infinite, and he shut it down. Recently, a rumor appeared that claimed one part of Microsoft's long-term vision for Halo Infinite would be a Battle Royale mode in 2021. It looks like that was just that, a rumor, and it doesn't look like it'll actually come to fruition. Brian Gerard, the community director at 343 Industries, responded to this scuttlebutt with a tweet, quote, "Nothing gets a post-holiday Monday going like fresh unfounded Halo Infinite rumors." End quote. Gerard doesn't mention Battle Royale by name, but it's clear that his tweet is in response to the latest conjecture about the long-in-development game. In a follow-up tweet, Gerard said he understands that fans are eager for more information about Halo Infinite. To that end, 343 is planning to release a year-end update that will have some new details. What we do know about Halo Infinite's multiplayer element is that it will be free-to-play, supported in part by microtransactions. 343 has yet to show any gameplay of multiplayer, but the studio has revealed some of the armor coatings, aka skins, that will be featured in the multiplayer element. Not again. Didn't we do this one already? Twice in the past? Where it's oh, it's going to be a Battle Royale. It's not going to be a Battle Royale.
I don't know what to say here. I honestly don't know.
Should I just drop it?
People talk. At the end of the day, people talk. People want this and everything like that. At the end of the day, I'll just say it like this. The release the Snyder Cut has proven if people whine enough online, they will get what they want. I'm still waiting for my Alien 3 David Fincher's cut. Disney now. But I can see him doing it eventually, but if it's not in the pipeline right now, then what he's saying is spot on and everything like that. Or if they have got it in or if they are actually doing it right now and everything like that, or that's something they've decided they're going to add. They just don't want to talk about it right now. which is understandable. Then
Let's get
for
the
me,
game out first. But
yeah, then for me, I would just even say this to the guy who says this: don't even speak about this. Don't even write anything. If anyone responds anything, just says there's no game and there's no game. There. Just do the what is it, the political type of statement or just a normal statement of at this moment in time we do not have plans for a battle royale. Just say that. Just let people talk. Let them talk. Who
I
cares?
think they've said it before, though. Like, we've definitely done this news story before.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure
we
we
said,
have.
you know what? I
Sometime
think it was
this
in
year.
like 2018.
Well, I wasn't here then.
And it was like, you know what? Would be pretty cool. I think Halo Battle Royale would be pretty cool. I don't know now if Battle Royale's just had its moment as being like the next big thing or the current big thing, where it's just like now it's like you've got big ones, right? You've got the big Fortnite and Apex Legends and Warzone, and they're all like they're the entrenched, established battle royales. And I don't know if it's worth anyone else even trying, unless they've got some radical new idea for battle royales. I mean, look at Hyperscape. Who remembers Hyperscape?
It's on my Ubisoft Connect app, so they do.
It still exists. I saw it when I was browsing the PS5 store the other day, but it was like that was literally me remembering it exists, like going, oh yeah.
It is. I'll say right now, I think it is inevitable. I think they will be eventually, because at the end of the day, Fortnite's still big. Warzone is still big. It's still big to this day. Still doing brilliant numbers overall.
Oh,
and even
God,
though
yeah.
and everything like that, and so is Apex and blah blah blah. They need multiplayer needs more than just the normal multiplayer death matches. All of this these days, what seems like that people want that extra thing. So a zombie mode doesn't work anymore these days. Well, it does work. It still works for the Call of Duty and everything like that. But the Call of Duty are the only ones that I see really doing it.
I think when you're talking about what works for multiplayer, I think sometimes you just need to take Call of Duty and just remove it from the conversation, because I feel like Call of Duty is it's its own genre at this point, where it's just like
that's true.
Yeah, maybe that's just like I feel like if you put a zombies mode in any other first-person shooter, it probably wouldn't do all that well.
Yeah.
I feel like Call of Duty is just Call of Duty, and
that's true. So yeah, I think this is going to happen eventually. It's just for me at the same time, just don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it.
Someone pointed it out that you could probably put one in there with the Forge, which is like the map editor, where you can create your own maps and shit. Like someone pointed it out, where it's like, you could make one right now if you wanted in Halo 5 or Halo Master Chief Collection in Forge.
Why no one has done this yet? That would have broken the internet. Well, that would have been at least one of the news that we would have spoken about if that actually happened. But no one has realized that yet.
I still play Halo 2 from time to time.
Yeah, we had an amazing time, Amy, you and me.
I mean the multiplayer. I still play the multiplayer from time to time. It's still really good. I like that kind of multiplayer. I am definitely interested to see how next year when they talk about what the multiplayer actually is. They're doing that thing that I said Call of Duty should do in the review podcast on Monday, where it's like they separate things, and they're separate from each other, and they exist in one big ecosystem. But yeah, it's just why does everything have to have battle royale rumors? I like battle royales, but I'm sick of hearing about battle royales at the same time.
That's the thing about it. We may be sick of things hearing, but at the end of the day, it's still making money. And if it's making money, that's
more
than any reason. That's the thing about it. Your hot take at the beginning, which I won't say anything going on because it was just too spicy to even say it. But is that you may not enjoy them that much, but at the end of the day, the general audience still goes out and makes them billions of dollars. So
I would never argue against that.
Yeah, so that's basically Do
you know who did make billions of dollars from making a battle royale though? Ubisoft. There's a certain point where you just that's not even necessarily a bang and dig against Ubisoft, although now I'm quite proud of it now that it's totally sounded like one. it's just like if you come to the table, if you come to the party late and you half-ass it, what was the point in even even trying, right?
They should have just put the battle royale mode in like Rainbow or something, or Siege or something.
Yeah, but Siege.
I know that doesn't make sense either, but I'm just
Yeah.
thinking it's already got a player base, a huge player base, a very supportive player base, crazy player base at the same time,
Most of them
and a bit
are, yeah.
and a bit mean. And that's
Most
being
are,
polite with
yeah.
those words. But they have a real loyal base to that game, and that for me would have been the better one to try, even though it would have made no sense. But you've already got the player base. Trying to throw out a new battle royale, that just makes no sense. Call of Duty one makes sense because it's Call of Duty. They could have just plastered Call of Duty on it and say, "Yo, Call of Duty
Yo,
Warzone."
do you want to play Call of Duty for free? And everyone was like, yeah, hell yeah, I want to play Call of Duty for free.
Free? What? Activision don't want money? What?
Oh, they'll get your money.
They'll get your money, don't worry.
They'll get your money.
Yeah, they're gonna get your money.
That's what they do. But yeah, it's just it's like if 343 has a great idea for a really good distinctive battle royale, cool. And I don't, and what I'm about to say is not me talking down on the talents, the obvious talents that exist at 343 Industries, but I don't think they will, because I don't think they do, because I don't know how many more variations on battle royale in first person shooters we can really have at this point. Like it'll be a battle royale, it'll be set on the Halo ring. Okay, cool. So its defining characteristic is it's gonna have jeeps with turrets on the back of it. And everybody's gonna be Master Chiefs. So all right, great.
Remember that rank Master Chief is what you want to hit, ladies and gentlemen. Playing that Locke character in that green suit is badass.
That's my point, though. It's just like, what could anyone do at this point to be substantially different enough that people will be really excited about it? Because I feel like if it's just another battle royale, you'll get people to try it, and I'll certainly try it, but I don't think I would stick with it. If it was like the other battle royales, but it looked a bit like Halo.
You say you are preaching to the choir.
Then hey, I don't even like Fortnite, so what do I know? I watched the trailer for Fortnite, and they were like, "It's advancing the story." Fortnite has a story? Apparently.
Wait, Master Chief's gonna go toe to toe with Kratos?
Not Kratos far off. Kratos is in the fucking Fortnite now, and it's just like, oh my god, this thing is ridiculous. Like, does it have a story, or does it just have like excuses to just have like anything that's popular? Like they just did a whole Marvel thing. I don't see how that's part of a Fortnite story, but hey,
because it's popular.
Because it's popular. Ooh. Let's talk about another Xbox game.
The Xbox twice in a row? What?
Ah, mate, you've got no idea.
I know.
Forza Horizon 5 might be coming sooner than we think. This is from Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer, who writes, Forza Horizon 5 might not have been announced yet, but one journalist has gone on record to say we might get it ahead of the recently revealed Forza Motorsport, possibly as early as 2021. In the podcast The Xbox Empire, GameBeat's Jeff Grubb revealed that he suspects we, quote, might get the next Forza Horizon game first, end quote, even though Playground Games has yet to confirm the game is in development. Quote, we saw Forza Motorsport get teased a few months ago, but I think we might get the next Forza Horizon game, and I think that might be coming this year. They're in a weird situation where, for some reason, Playground says it does seem like they may be ready to go first. I think I know the setting, but I'm going to let them announce it. End quote. It's not Japan. I'm going to be very sad.
This is not surprising, actually, because like I follow Playground on Twitter and on LinkedIn and everything like that, and they are constantly hiring to the bananas. Basically, they're hiring so many people, which is amazing. Obviously, that's a great. That means they've got a great depth of field when it comes to their creators. which is fantastic, and they're all like, and it basically specifically tells you this guy's going to the racing side. This guy's going to how I was at the time our unannounced RPG game, which we now know what it is, which we already knew what it was. But either way, yeah, this is not surprising if Horizon does come out first, because like how they were talking about motorsport was just like, is this game 2021? Because this doesn't seem like it how you're talking about this. It seems like it's later down the line. So if it's kind of like going back to the like Assassin's Creed part, like Origins and Ubisoft and Odyssey, they were ready to go with Odyssey, get it out. If this is ready to go, and it is ready to go at the end of 2021, get it out, I guess, if it's ready.
It's been on a very... Horizon and Motorsport have been on very specific development timelines for the entire console generation, essentially, the last one. And then it's like they skipped Motorsport. So really, like, Horizon, like, should nearly be ready to go because it would have been due to come out, like, at that time.
Wow.
Right?
It would technically be
Now.
if they followed the same schedule. Last year would have been Motorsport, and this year, but we got Horizon DLC, the Lego DLC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So last year would have been technically Motorsport, and this year would have been the new Horizon. So yeah, they're pretty ahead of schedule. Both of them are boys ahead of schedule.
So I don't know if it's a surprise, because it is kind of like a thing of like, well, if they've been working on it and they've been working about as well as they had been in the past, it's like, well, it's probably pretty close to being ready to go. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think it's as surprise as some people think it should be.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to hold the game back just because Motorsport is technically the next one to come out.
I don't think Xbox really give a flying hoot at the end of the day.
No, it all just goes into Game Pass, and it all just earns them subs, and then it all just makes them sales.
They'll stay in Game Pass for like 2 years, and then the new version will come out, unless they've negotiated the contracts to a longer extent.
Yeah.
When it comes to the branding and everything.
Yeah, the Forza games are weird like that, because you've got the licenses for the cars eventually run out. It's like Forza Horizon 2, I think, that just disappeared.
I think so, yeah.
Which is a shame, but I mean, there's no point in paying for the licenses for like multiple Forza Horizon games, like.
That is true.
As long as you just keep the newest one going, and the newest one was pretty cool. It was in Britain, which was a shame, but what are you gonna do? It was still fun to play. It was in fake Britain though. Although Edinburgh looked pretty cool because I'd like, oh, I've been here. Oh, cool! I've actually sat on that bench. I've just totally sideswiped and destroyed. Fun. Because I'm a terrible driver and I don't know why I play these games.
I am a terrible driver. I didn't run that person over on purpose at all.
No, definitely not on purpose. I remember when I thought playing Forza Horizon would be a great idea when I was doing a 24-hour thing. Like before I did live streaming. I still did like 24-hour marathons for raising money for charity, and for some reason I thought at like 4 o'clock in the morning Forza Horizon was a great game to play. And it wasn't. High speed, fast reactions, there's two things that I cannot handle at 4 o'clock in the morning when I've been playing games since 10 o'clock in the morning on the previous day. It's just like, oh, there was a turn there. Shit.
Was it?
Now I'm in a hotel. Pretty sure I'm not supposed to be in a hotel. I'm still in a car. Yeah, let's move on. Enterprising developers are emulating PS2 games on the Xbox Series S and X. This is from Ian Carlos Campbell over at The Verge, who writes, developers have now made it possible to emulate PS2 games on the Xbox Series X and S using the RetroArch emulator, something that the PlayStation 5, the successor to the PS2, can't. Thanks to the Xbox Series X/S console's developer mode, the emulation software can be added as a universal Windows application, UWA, allowing users to download a retail version of the emulation software directly to their console without tricky workarounds, so players don't have to wait for a re-release to play an older favourite. While RetroArch is able to emulate several different consoles, the compatibility for running PS2 games using the PCSX2 core is particularly notable because of how limited Sony's PlayStation 5 is when it comes to backwards compatibility compared to the Xbox. The new console is only natively backwards compatible with PlayStation 4 games, with some caveats, and Sony currently only offers the option to play PS3 and PS2 games using its PS Now game streaming service. It's worth mentioning that Microsoft doesn't officially support this kind of emulation, and PCSX2 support is still a work in progress. Excuse me. But the early results with RetroArch are exciting. Despite the limits imposed by a cap on file sizes, PS2 games do run at almost the same quality as they did on the original console. The process for adding RetroArch to your Xbox using developer mode is a bit complicated. You'll need to pay a $19 registration fee to be a part of Microsoft's developer program, then download the Dev Mode activation app from the Xbox Store. Once the app is downloaded and running, you can connect to your Xbox from a web browser using your local network and add the RetroArch UWA files. This UWA RetroArch is notably limited by a file size cap that could prevent you from running games larger than 2 gigabytes. The newer, easier method for doing this, created by programmer Turnip3, was first covered by Ars Technica. Oh, Tunip3. Sorry, not Turnip. My apologies, Tunip. I didn't mean to call you a turnip. I guess it's, I don't know. Tunip3's method uses a retail version of RetroArch listed as a private app in the Xbox Store. By adding player emails to a whitelist, the full version of RetroArch can be downloaded directly to your Xbox with a code. This method removes the file size limitations that come with a developer UWA app, meaning more games are compatible, at least until Microsoft eliminates this loophole. With RetroArch on the new Xbox, there's now solid proof that emulating these older consoles is possible on next-generation hardware. In fact, Microsoft relies on an emulator it built to run Xbox and Xbox 360 games on the Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. For PlayStation games, the ball is in Sony's court, and it's not yet clear whether it intends to offer a formal backwards compatibility option on the PS5 that goes beyond cloud streaming. Or if their official stance is, get an Xbox if you want to play PS2 games. Lol. I remember seeing this and being very confused on Twitter until I actually read what the fuck was going on. I was like, there was a thing about playing games on your Xbox, and there was a picture of Silent Hill 2 on an Xbox Series X, and I was like, is the simulation collapsing? Is that what's happening right now?
Microsoft bought Sony. They had it in the background already, ready to go. They just haven't announced it yet. This is a little fun.
It is pretty fun.
The biggest thing in the world or anything like that. This is yes, it's funny that you can't do this on the PlayStation 5. I will not deny that.
Come on. That was basically getting my thing. It was just going to be like, gotta see the joke, right? Come on.
No, the joke is there.
The joke
There's
no
doubt about it. The joke is very much there. There's no doubt about it. But it's very funny.
I could play more PlayStation games on my Xbox than I can on my PS5.
Oh, good God. But no, yeah. It's, I have nothing really else to say about it. It's funny.
I cracked myself up more with that one, I think. Why did I even buy you? Damn you, PlayStation! All I got out of you is Spider-Man. I didn't even need you for that. I'm such a fool. I mean, as someone who has recently, started an entire video series dedicated to reviewing and playing older games, and has had significant troubles playing games of a certain generation, i.e. this is PlayStation 2 generation, it's like, oh man, now I need a new generation Xbox so I can play PS2 games. And then the thought goes through my head, and then I'm like, that's the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever thought to myself about video games. And I've had some pretty ridiculous video game thoughts.
You said it, not I.
Imagine. Oh, I bought an Xbox Series S, Moody. All right, what games are you going to play on it? PlayStation 2 games mostly. It's mostly what I got it for.
Why not?
It's great. I love it. It's just when people in this case, companies, but in this case, console manufacturers come out and say, "Oh no, we definitely can't do," in this case, backwards compatibility, and then developers just go, push a few buttons or whatever, work their because developers are sorcerers and sorceresses. So they just push a few buttons on their things, and then the magic happens, and then they're like, "Look, I'm playing Persona 2 on my PlayStation, on my Xbox." And PlayStation's just like, "Nah, we can't do that." Developers are like, "Can like." It reminds me of that time. It reminds me of that time PlayStation was adamant crossplay was definitely not like technically possible, and then Epic Games just accidentally turned it on in Fortnite. And then they were like, "Oh, guess it was possible because there were no problems. We only noticed because players noticed." Wink.
I think when Microsoft came out and said, when they revealed the backwards compatibility, where they even said themselves, we did not believe this was possible for the Xbox One. It wasn't built into the architecture or anything like that to be backwards compatible. But you were asking for it, so we had a look to see what if we could do this, and we have found a way. So basically, when they've come out and said we found a way to do something that we said we wouldn't be able to do, all bets are off. Basically, you say, "Are you sure you can't do this?"
We found a way.
You,
We had our scientists working day and night for years or decades to find a way. And like, there's people out in the community going, emulation's a thing, right? We've been doing this for a long time. It's not difficult. I mean, relatively. It is obviously difficult. I could not build an emulator myself. Like, when I make statements like that, I am, of course, referring to the fact of relative difficulty. It relatively is not all that difficult to create an emulator. Time-consuming, sure. It's not as simple as flipping a switch, especially not when you've got to work with cell processing from the PS3 era. That might be the only era that might be lost to us. Thanks, Sony. But, like, it's definitely possible to emulate and to build an emulator and make it run. That's how I'm playing an Xbox 360 game. I start my Xbox One up, and then I click the game, and then it starts the Xbox 360 inside my Xbox One up. And I enter consoleception. Ooh. It's even got all the old UI. It's great. Such a throwback. I unlocked an achievement, and it did the tiny little thing. Remember the tiny little achievement pop-ups? Where they go bloop, and they're like on the top, and they're not in the way of the subtitles. Microsoft. They're not at the bottom. In the way of the subtitles, Microsoft. But yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm not denying it's not like a given, right? It's like you have to figure out how to make it work on your specific console and whatnot, but it's not impossible. And this is just
the planet Earth put a man on the moon. If they can do that, they can bloody emulate PlayStation 2 games on a PlayStation 5, people.
Yeah. If you could do that, I should be able to play Silent Hill on my PlayStation 5. Come on.
Well, rumors of Kojima doing one is still there, so maybe you might get that soon enough.
Yeah, no, but I mean the first one, right?
Game Awards are around the corner, I mean.
I'm not falling for it again.
Until it's announced.
Nah.
Or until it's out.
Right, we've reported on this once in 2020, but how many times have we both seen this rumor?
Oh, many times.
Exactly. In just a year. It's like, we did it the first time, and it was like, we're not doing this again. We're not doing this dance again. Like, in every, month, it's like, oh, there's a new rumor that could you... All right, this is just wishful thinking. This is wishful thinking that is manifesting itself into news. And I'm not having it. I'm putting my foot down.
That's why know. That's why there's no rumors for like a Dino Crisis remake, because we just know they're doing it. They don't have to rumor it. We know they're doing it. Aren't you, Capcom? Aren't you?
The makers of sci-fi sex game Subverse apologized after teaming up with a racist YouTuber, then backtracked. This is from Rich Stanton and Johnny McGregor over at PC Gamer, and have added a content warning for racism and racist language in this story. Subverse is the Kickstarter success story that crowdfunded over $1 million with its promise of a sci-fi RPG with tactical combat, where you get to be a captain of a spaceship, recruit sexy alien companions, and then bang them. Basically, Mass Effect. Since
I was about
developers
to say Mass Effect there.
Studio FOW cancelled plans to release Subverse in early access, players hadn't actually seen gameplay of it yet, even though its first chapters, of which there'll be 10, are due in early 2021. So there was some anticipation around the exclusive first look reveal of its tactical grid combat, waifus, and shmup gameplay. However, that exclusive first look was granted to a YouTuber named Arch, who we've talked about on this podcast in the past. A controversial figure whose commentary on the platform led to him being blacklisted by Games Workshop, as well as the complaints about feminism and how Warhammer and Star Wars have been ruined by SJWs. Arch has a second channel devoted to topics like Islam, immigration, and his right to use the N-word. Arch used to post videos under the name Arch Warhammer until Games Workshop decided it wanted no association with the guy. It made him remove the word Warhammer from his channel and convince World of Warships creators Wargaming.net to end their promotional relationship with him earlier this year in the midst of a program that brought Warhammer 40k style warships into the game. In a statement, Wargaming said, quote, "We were specifically warned by Games Workshop not to work with this influencer and agreed to it," end quote. He's a banned topic on our 40k lore, and the guy a former Total War community manager called a dickhead. If you ever try to piss off a community manager, that's not easy. That's not easy.
And that's being polite.
Yeah, we covered the dickhead story. I thought it was hilarious. That's why, when the Subverse gameplay reveal was given to Arch as an exclusive, people were upset. When the video was posted to our games over the weekend, there was such a backlash, the mods eventually stated, quote, "We will be automatically removing any future content made by this YouTuber to our subreddit," end quote. Subverse creators Studio FOW responded quickly and apologetically. Community manager FOW Chan posted on Discord that, quote, "We were not aware at the time that he had made racist and other controversial statements in the past, and we did not look into his background as much as we could have, and we now know this was a mistake," end quote. I will hold comments.
I'm going to hold comment on that as well.
Yeah. However, that post was soon deleted and followed by one that reversed position from the same poster FOW Chan. They wrote, quote, "In terms of the previous statement regarding Arch, we were bombarded suddenly with posts from different political groups, and as a result we acted in haste," end quote. There was also an apology for the earlier apology, which was subsequently deleted. Quote, "We would like to make it absolutely clear we have no problems with Arch personally. We simply wanted him to showcase some of our gameplay together, which Arch did professionally, and he was very gracious with his time. We appreciate his time and want to say we are sorry for jumping into a politically charged situation so quickly. Subverse has no political affiliation. It's a game to be enjoyed by everybody," end quote. Even racists, apparently. The claims that, quote, "we have no problems with Arch personally and Subverse has no political affiliation," end quote, sit uneasily together. It's worth being explicit about the kind of things Arch has said in the past. The Warhammer community doesn't like him, and that is some fucking achievement, and has previously collected a bunch of Discord leaks showing his language and views. Arch has blamed black people for slavery, as well as calling Asian people ching chongs and saying God does hate yellow people. He dislikes travellers, lamenting that it used to be possible to shoot them, and referring to the Warhammer creatures Noblar as being the, quote, gypsies of that universe and a, quote, subspecies. In the same video, he goes on to say Noblar have slave-like qualities and calls them house N-words, boasting that this term is something for which his channel is rightly famed before subsequently delisting the video. PC Gamer reached out to Studio FOW for comment and received the following, quote, "Thanks for your inquiry. We have no further comments at this time and are excited to reveal more Subverse footage to the public in the coming months," end quote. Arch had a totally normal one where he said making jokes about racism was fine. I'm not going to read his statement. He's a shit. Then there was an update of the story. After retracting a previous apology on Tuesday evening, a member of Studio FOW re-apologized on behalf of the creators of Subverse, saying, quote, "It is disappointing that under my watch this mess happened," end quote. Posting on Subverse's Kickstarter page, a developer named Tibor provided a summary without addressing the controversy in any specific terms. Quote, "We just finished some neat gameplay and wanted to show it off on YouTube. Following the publishing of the video, things got out of hand. I am not a PR expert, as evidenced by Saturday's events. I'm just a regular old software guy who sailed into some very uncharted waters. As a result, I made multiple mistakes with communication and take full responsibility for the incompetency. Instead of leading the team with competency, I let conflicting messages, posts, and statements appear on our communication channels," end quote. He went on to say, quote, I let the backers down. I let our amazing Discord moderating team down by putting them into an impossible situation. And I let our fans down. This is a game to be enjoyed by everybody. And the last thing I wanted to do was create division within the fanbase, end quote. And then Tebow finishes by stating the studio will not work with Arch or indeed anyone outside the team in a promotional capacity again. Though once again it avoids mentioning his name, simply stating, quote, in the future I will ensure we promote the game by letting the team do what they do best, animate awesome videos and trailers, end quote.
Well, this is just a cluster fudge of mess.
It's not great. Although I feel like we need to have the discussion with these people again, where it's like, if you say you are not making a political statement, that is the political statement. Congratulations, you're playing yourself. Idiots.
Okay, so firstly, idiots. I just want to say for a fact here for everyone here, I don't know this person, Arch. Never even really heard of him.
Unfortunately, I have.
I don't think I've ever talked to him on this podcast about this person.
No, it was me and Keith.
So I've never heard of this person whatsoever. We've spoken multiple times behind the scenes, everything like, or even before, of how terrible YouTube is when it comes to just leaving channels on that are racist, sexist, the whole shebang. We know this. They're terrible at it. They are not great. They have never been great. Blah blah blah. This whole thing is it's absolutely crazy. It is. I don't know where to start, and I think, but now I look at it, I think I'll start at the part of what we both said. We both have comments on that, and which was the we didn't. Which was it?
Where we were not aware at the time that he had made racist and other controversial statements in the past.
Etc. Yeah. Then you are the most useless people in the company. You should vet like crazy, especially whoever you've got going to play your game, anyone who you've got to even hire in any general. If you're gonna hire a person in whatever context, you ask for a reference to go and ask him.
Yeah, in this case, watch some of his content, see what other people say about him. The fact of the matter is that I knew enough.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw his name pop up, I knew exactly who he was.
Yeah, it's quite easy just to put in Arch, YouTube.
Yeah.
Boom. You find him.
Well, it shouldn't even. You should already have his link, right? If they're giving him the video content exclusives, whatever. Yeah.
Or even better, they could just put Arch, YouTube, controversy. Whatever, whatever, and they'll just tap, and I'll bet you'll go to all this craziness for him.
Let's find out. I'm curious. Let's see. We've got an article from June 2020. Warhammer community speaks out against racist YouTuber. Yep, that's the first result. The second result is a bunch of Reddit threads about how he's alt-right, racist, banned, controversial. Let's have a look. Oh, cringy Nazi Arts Warhammer pretends. What's this? Pretends White Lives Matter isn't racist while using a fake accent. That's one of the. I'm still on the first page. His YouTube channel isn't even the first result that comes up. Oh, hey, look! It's the article I just read.
So, Studio FOW, two people who just do a podcast, who do not develop games, even though I'm learning, and everything like that, just talk about them, have just found out more about this racist person who you give your game to let him promote in less than a minute.
Oh, hello.
Less than a minute. That is irresponsible to the highest degree. And then you just spit on it, on that irresponsibleness to even more of a degree by literally pulling out your statement, retracting it, deleting it, whatever, and then coming out with this complete load of bullshit. shame on you for this. Just it's a shit show, and you should be ashamed of yourself. And then to even like at the end, what was it? It's the guy we will not, but we wasn't naming as a person or anything like that. I'm just like,
Yeah,
and that's what I hate the most. Is like, we will not do this. Yada 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 yada. Does not know. We know why.
yeah, we
Don't
know why.
don't bullshit it. Just say we did something stupid. We should not have given this game to this racist. Blah blah blah. But you're not going to do that. Jesus, man. People these days, they're learning very well from the politicians out there, because they're doing it a lot more these days as well. But this is a lot of bollocks. It's just stupid, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh yeah,
That's my take on
it's
it.
not.
There.
It's not an apology if you don't say what you're apologizing for. Long-term viewers of this podcast will know that's my stance, and I don't think that's particularly. I don't think that's particularly spicy or out of left field. It's like, if you don't say the thing you're apologizing for, it's not really an apology. That's just how it is. Like, if you can't own up to the thing that you did, because again, it's so easy to just go. Because I do this all the time. How many times have I fuck something up in like a week? And you know what? If I fuck it up, I just go, my bad, I fucked that. That was totally my fault. And I learn from it. And it turns out when you do that, people will forgive you. Unlike with what the developers of Subverse did, which was they just first apologized, then retracted the apology with a statement which included, Subverse has no political affiliation. It's a game to be enjoyed by everybody. To which the implication of that statement is it's a game to be enjoyed by everybody, even racists. Which is like, I mean, that's not great. Don't say that. What? Why? I have never been trained in PR or communications, and I know you shouldn't say that. I know that's a terrible thing to say. Unless you're trying to quote racists as your customer base, which, you know, seems that there are some game developers out there who do that. And then they deleted that one, and then they re-apologized, air quotes, apologized, without actually apologizing, and it's just like, yeah, cool. So this game that I'd never heard of before is now on my radar, and it is something I'm going to avoid. Like, I'm just going to avoid this game. It's not worth it.
I'm
out.
I thought I don't even think I would have. Like, I never even heard of this game until we spoke about it.
No, I've never heard of Subverse.
So this wasn't even on my radar. And I won't lie, I can forget things quite easy. So I will probably forget about this game quite easy, and then it'll come up on the game come up, and then you're like, "Oh, you remember this game, David?" No, I'm going.
No,
it's that racist one.
It's that racist one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's that racist one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Then after that episode, I'll even forget about it then. So if I play this, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, from the time we covered the story about Arch when he was Arch Warhammer to now, like, in between then, I've never thought about this person. Like, it's obviously as soon as I've read this story and gone, I remember this guy. What's he done now? Okay. You know, what's happened now?
Like, I never heard of him.
No,
I am very. I just want to reiterate for people. I am very niche to who I watch.
Oh, I've never watched him ever.
On content creator or anything. And if I didn't even hear about the Logan Paul and his brother until that Japanese death video thing that came out 2 years ago. That's the first time I heard about them.
That's the first time I'd ever heard of them.
They're the biggest YouTubers out there. Yeah. KSI, the only time I heard about him was when he was going to fight Logan Paul. I was like, I never even heard of you, mate.
Yeah, generally
the same thing. And I'm not saying those are racist or anything like that. They, but this is the thing about it. Like, that's how small and niche I am. I find who I like. I don't really step out far of the room that much for it.
Yeah, like I don't not now or have I ever watched an Arch or Arch Warhammer video. Like, it is just literally, he was put in front of me because of a news story. And by him being put in front of me, I've learned more about him. Like, while you were talking just then after I did the thing where I Googled him and found out all about him. I clicked one of the links with a lot of screenshots of things he said on his Discord and was like, okay, I know everything I need to know about this person. But like, I'd heard of him before because the story about the community, the creative assembly, I think it was, community manager, like, who left the company and called Arch War. He wrote this thing, and then at the end, I'm pretty sure it just said also Arch Warhammer's a dickhead, and we covered it on the podcast. And I thought it was hilarious anyway. And then when I learned who Arch Warhammer was, I was like, that's even funnier.
Yeah.
Keith was like, I don't understand why a community manager would act that unprofessionally, and I was like, I do.
Yeah, this is the thing about it. The annoying thing for both you and me is that we're talking about this guy we don't want to be talking about. That's the thing we dislike. We hate this. We don't want to hear a video game company, doing something stupid like this and all. And one thing it's just made us, it's gave both, because of your incompetence, your company, your studio, your game has got nothing but a bad taste in our mouths for it. And like, we always will not be touching this game whatsoever. And just because of this, that's like, we don't want to be screaming about Ubisoft or Activision or anything like that. We want to be praising games and everything. And when you get stupid things like this, it just puts both of us in a bad mood, or puts us like to say, oh God, why? And we're just like, come on, man, seriously, how stupid can you really be?
I know, right? If only any other YouTuber existed who would have been able to do this gameplay reveal, who wasn't a massive piece of shit.
I can name 10 for you right now, mate. Right now, studio, I can tell 10 right now, if you want me to.
At the end of the day, you skipped over all of the YouTubers who aren't shit and went to this YouTuber, and that's on you. And like, we've just proven it takes a minute to figure out that there's something wrong here. And
30 seconds, I think.
And 2 minutes to click a link and go, wow, no, thank you.
But the thing is, you don't even have to click the link. The byline tells you it.
No, absolutely. But like, if you click the link, you get, if there was a reset error thread, I clicked the link on, and it had all the screenshots of the specific things he'd said. So I just read them, and now I want to read this next news story because I've died a little inside.
You feel dirty and disgusting inside.
Yeah, I put this next for a reason. Yeah, let's just move on. Arch, to quote the famous poet, unnamed creative assembly community manager, Arch is a dickhead. Next news story. Nintendo's theme park opening confirmed for February. Donkey Kong area in construction. This is from Andy Robinson over at Video Games Chronicle, who writes, Universal Studios Japan's Super Nintendo World will officially open on February 4th, 2021. It's been announced. At a press event held on Monday, Universal confirmed details on the long-awaited attraction, including confirmation of the long-rumoured Super Mario Kart AR ride, which will have visitors wear special headsets. As detailed in an earlier leak, the Mario Kart ride has up to 4 users per kart racing against other visitors on a parallel track. The AR helmet will allow users to see various game elements and use items against virtual opponents. Excuse me. New images released by Universal and attendees show the inside of Bowser's Castle, where the Mario Kart ride is located, featuring themed items based on the game series. Speaking to the assembled media, Mario Kart Koopa's Challenge attraction executive producer Thomas Garacti reportedly said the attraction was the result of a 6-year collaboration with the creative team at Nintendo, including input from Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto. Because the ride has win and lose states, visitors will have a different experience each time they ride, he said. Quote, guests will join their favourite characters immersed in augmented reality, steering their way through the Mushroom Kingdom, throwing shells at Koopalings as they race to the finish, end quote. Garactis reportedly added that the headsets will be sanitised after every use, along with other social distancing measures. Universal Studios Japan is currently operating at around half capacity due to the pandemic. According to a separate report by Bloomberg's Kurumi Mori, Nintendo is already building the previously rumoured Donkey Kong World next door to Super Nintendo World. Nintendo World Japan is set to put an emphasis on the interactivity of its experiences, with each visitor using a wearable wristband in conjunction with a mobile phone app to gamify the park. Visitors will be able to collect virtual coins and stamps by exploring Nintendo World, and complete with others in real time for the number collected. Guests will also be able to collect various keys around the park to unlock battles against virtual boss characters, which are fought in cooperation with others. Following the Japan opening, Super Nintendo World is scheduled to come to Universal's Orlando, Hollywood, and Singapore parks. However, construction at the Orlando park was recently suspended indefinitely due to the pandemic. This looks so cool. Do you see the photos?
No.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The photos, Moody. Like, it's like a Nintendo game has come to life in the real world. It's like, what if the Super Mario Brothers movie wasn't shit? Like, hold on, I'm trying to find. Yeah,
I'm getting them up.
EW.com has some of the photos, I think. But just Google it, you'll find them. It looks unbelievable.
Oh wow, I could see it. Very colourful.
Yeah, like anyone who's listening or watching this podcast, like just go fucking Google some Super Nintendo World pictures. Like, oh my god.
It looks really canny. Can't deny that from what we're seeing there. I just also want to reiterate, pandemic or not, I would still want those vices to be hand sanitizer washed.
I was gonna say, yeah, okay, yeah. It's like maybe even if there's not it's like a bruh moment, right? Like bruh, because of the pandemic. Does that mean you're not gonna sanitize them? Like when the pandemic's over, like maybe do
that's my biggest worry at the end of this pandemic. You know that, right?
Maybe do that anyway.
Yeah, just do it anyway, guys, so we don't go back into one that fast. But no, yeah, look, this is great. This is fantastic. We know the movie's coming. I don't know when that actually is, but I know it's coming. I don't know if it's next year or if it's the year before that, but the year after that's just there. But yeah, we know the movie's coming, so it's all tied in and everything. So this is gonna look sexy. Can't deny that. Universal do very good to what I know when it comes to their their parks.
I have a friend who's been to Universal Florida a couple of times, because she's like a big Disney person, so she's been like the Disney. She always shouts at me when I get it wrong. The one in Orlando is called Disney World, right?
I honestly don't know.
I'll
type it up here.
It's Disney World, Florida, and Disneyland, Paris. I call it Disneyland, and she hits me.
So what's the one in LA?
I mean, look, right? I know there's two. It was news to me that there was more than two. Like that blew my mind. I know, and I'm just like,
just China. I mean.
I have trouble remembering the two, so I'm just gonna stay well clear of any other ones. But yeah, like she goes there, and she's been to the Universal Park, and she loves both of them. I need to go to this. Like, I need to go to this place. So if everybody could just wear their masks, wash their hands, stay away from each other, lock their doors, don't go out anywhere, so we could just get this pandemic dealt with, so I can go to Super Nintendo World. That'd be great.
Does everyone stay inside so Amy can go by herself?
Yeah, like even during the pandemic, it's just if everybody stays away, and it just gives me a clear path to it. I wear a hazmat suit and I'll just fucking rock up and just be like, look, can I come in? Clearly, I can't give the virus to anybody. I've got 3 hours of oxygen left.
I can do that very productively in poke through those gates.
Yeah, no, and it looks so cool, and it sounds really cool as well from like reading this stuff where it's like they're doing like a augmented reality Mario Kart thing, which is like great. I was wondering how they were going to do a Mario Kart thing, because I was like, they're surely not just going to put people in carts and let them drive around like maniacs. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Which is good, I think. But it's all the other stuff as well, where it's like you can like collect coins as you go around. Which obviously it's a Nintendo
fighting going on there.
Someone's gonna cosplay as like a Koopa or a Goomba or something, and someone's gonna jump on their head. And they'll be like, "Ah, my head!" They'll be like, "Oh, how could this have happened?"
Yeah, that is gonna happen, isn't it?
Because that person will be me. But no, in all seriousness, it sounds like so much fun. Like, thing is, I like theme parks, but I don't like roller coasters. So I enjoy going to Alton Towers, but I go on like 3 rides. when I'm
Yeah.
there because I hate roller coasters. There's no roller coasters here, like, or maybe if there is, like, they're not like the main feature. So I'm cool with going to this place because it's like sounds like it's perfectly made for me. It's Nintendo, which I love. It's a theme park, which I love, and it has very few roller coasters, which I love.
It's Amy's dream.
Yeah, it's like that's the triple threat right there. It's weird. Like I enjoy being at Alton Towers, but then when I go there with someone and they're like, "I'm gonna go on this roller coaster," I'm like, "Cool, I'll watch."
See you later, bye. I'll get the picture of you going.
But I'm going to tell you the story of me trying a roller coaster for the first time as an adult. Well, because the logic was, oh, well, maybe you didn't like them when you were a kid. Maybe that's just because you were a kid, which convinced me to be like, okay, I'll try one now. And the story is pretty funny. It was at this moment that she knew she fucked up.
It was at this moment, at the top of the mountain.
It was. No, okay, I'll tell it. It was literally, right, so I went with my girlfriend at the time, and she loves roller coasters, but we went for like the scare nights, the scare mazes at Alton Towers, which are brilliant, by the way. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Yeah. But like we spent the day in the park, and she was going on the roller coasters, and I was just having fun because for some reason I like being in the park, like I like the experience of being at the theme park, even if I'm not getting on any roller coasters. It's weird. I love it for some reason. And so she was going on her first ride because she bought these passes where she could just like get on like in the fast queue or whatever, because there's a fast queue and a slow queue apparently. And it was like, and she gave that logic to me of being like, oh well, why don't you just go on, try one and see if you like it, because maybe it was just because the last time you were here you were 14 or whatever it was. So I was like, you know what, I can see that logic, and I will try a roller coaster. And the first roller coaster she went on was Oblivion.
Of course.
So the first roller coaster I went on as an adult was Oblivion.
Of course. And let me guess, it's not.
I figured, you figure, right? It's like, if I'm going to figure it out, this is where I'm going to figure out whether I like roller coasters or not, right? Like, this is the ultimate litmus test. So we got on the roller coaster and we got strapped in, and then, you know, it starts moving and it's like, and it's going up. And I was a bit edgy, but again, I hadn't been on a roller coaster for like 15 years. And I was like a bit edgy, but as we were getting up, and I was like looking around thinking, fucking hell, I'm quite high. But I wasn't like quite high up, I should say. And I wasn't like shitting it or anything. I wasn't like scared. So I was like, oh, maybe this will be okay. And then it gets up and it levels out, and it turns the corner. And then it does that thing. It's like, because Oblivion is just a straight drop into a tunnel. And it just goes chunk, and it stops for that split second. And in that split second, I was like, I have made a terrible mistake.
It was not worth it.
It was just in my head. I was like, I have made a horrible mistake. And then it releases and you go, ah! And it didn't make a sound. Or you go down, and then you kind of go, you level out, but you still keep the momentum. And then you go around, and then it slows down and stops. And it stopped. And I was like fingers which dug into the safety thing. My eyes were closed. And I hadn't opened them even though the thing had stopped. And she just looked at me and she went, that was fun, wasn't it? And then she looked at me and went, are you crying? And I went, yes. I'm never doing that again. I got off and I was crying. I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. I was like 30 years old. I got off the roller coaster and I was in tears. I was like, that was horrible. Why do people enjoy that? Haven't been on a roller coaster since. Never getting on one ever again.
Amy's choice: death or roller coaster. She chooses
death. She had to take me to the they got the water ride where you sit in the big round thing and you go down the water, and she had to take me and put me on that. before I was like calmed down. Because I was like, I was horrible.
I'm not a roller coaster person. I won't lie. So. You just explained it. I could literally picture it. I could picture your face and everything.
I think it was literally just like I was just like smiling like this, like, oh yeah, this isn't too bad. But then as the second it stops you at the top, I just kind of go, uh-oh. The gravity of the situation has made itself apparent to me. And I'm plummeting to my death is what it felt like. I knew I was like logically I knew I was perfectly safe. I wasn't gonna die. It was just like I hated the feeling of traveling that fast, being completely out of control. Like, but it was fine. She had a great time going on all the roller coasters, and I had a great time watching.
Yes, you go. I'm perfectly safe down here. Thank God. You stay up there.
Anyway, let's talk about video games again.
That literally is the break.
I had to tell that story after I said it. It is a pretty funny story.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I was like 30. I wasn't a kid. I wasn't a kid when that happened. I was an adult. She had to buy me an ice cream. Well, actually, I paid for it, but she bought it. Anyway. CD Projekt warns against streaming Cyberpunk 2077 before release as copies ship early. This is from Emma Kent over at Eurogamer, who writes, we finally reached the point where we're less than a week away from the launch of Cyberpunk 2077. Shit, we are as well. And perhaps unsurprisingly, given all the release date changes, copies of the game appear to have shipped a little early. In anticipation of any potential leaks stemming from this, CD Projekt Red has requested that players avoid streaming or uploading videos of the game before release day, or else face a corporate takedown task force. I guess that's something you would expect from the world of Cyberpunk. The source of the early copies, according to customer reports on social media, appears to be American retailer Best Buy. Several customers have uploaded images of their Cyberpunk 2077 boxes, and it's the flashy collector's edition that appears to have turned up ahead of time. At the time of writing, nobody is attempting to stream the game on YouTube or Twitch, but perhaps that's due to a warning from CD Projekt Red. Quote, we're getting closer and closer to launch, and chances are some of you will get your hands on a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 before release day. However difficult this might be for us to achieve, our ambition is for all gamers across the world to have the same spoiler-free experience at the time the game releases. This is why we kindly ask you not to stream/let's plays or release any similar content before 9th of December, 12 PM CET, 3 AM PST. We will send Max Tech, the guys who take down videos, after everyone who does, end quote. Max Tech refers to a special unit police force in the Cyberpunk universe rather than a real-world company, if you are wondering. While the statement is playful, CD Projekt Red also makes it pretty clear they end up with a takedown notice should you attempt to broadcast the game early. Ironically, the most Cyberpunk thing CD Projekt Red could do. Given the circumstances.
We will send John Wick.
People realize... Do the people realize that Cyberpunk's a dystopia and not an aspiration? Like...
Oh, people are very excited for this game.
And not the game, I mean the genre itself. Like, it's not an aspiration that the real world should aspire to. It's something we should avoid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think... So Best Buy have released them early, yes?
Yeah, so these aren't
so basically,
codes.
I just want it in my head. This is the same thing what happened to Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
So
we've got a story about this, yeah.
By law, they technically can't do anything about this if anyone streams it.
By fair use law, which is never correctly applied on YouTube and Twitch. Yes. It's the same situation that Fixer was in, where he got his copy early. He didn't get it from Capcom. He didn't sign up to an embargo. He bought it as a consumer, and he had it, so he streamed it. And then he got taken down and banned from Twitch for 3 days by Capcom. Which is bullshit. Like, if he'd have got a review code for the game, or a review copy of the game, and signed up to an embargo and broke the embargo, fucking banhammer him, right? Yeah. Because you've signed up to a thing. Like, if somebody who gets their Best Buy Cyberpunk 2077 purchased copy early, like, it shouldn't even be a question. It should be like, cool, you can stream it.
Yeah,
But because this jumps the gun, like, I can see where CD Projekt Red are coming from, even though I think they're 100% wrong. Where it's like, there'll be influencers they've got deals with who can put videos out or do streams, like, beforehand at whatever the embargo time is.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Don't give your game to Best Buy next time, CD Projekt.
Like, it's bullshit.
It is, yeah. It's a little bullshit. It's not anyone else's fault who get their game early and they want to go, oh my god, this is my most anticipated game. I'm super excited. I want to stream this. They shouldn't be threatened, basically, to get takedown notices of this, where they could actually lose their channel, especially if you're a prolific channel or something like that. That's basically very unfair of them there. I agree where you come from. I do see their point of view here, but
yeah, and just to be clear, whatever they say about the spoiler-free experience or whatever, it's not about that. It's about deals that they've cut with influencers.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Because then the influencers who will be like, why the hell didn't I get this? Well, like, that's what it is, money. It's not the integrity of the experience for everybody. If it was, there'd be no streams before the game came out. Yeah. Because the integrity of the experience is kind of compromised when influencers can stream the game early. We're going down that road.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I've signed up to 1 million.
Ubisoft have just done that with malls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's happened to me before, where it's like, I get a review code for an EA game, and then they put a 10-hour trial out on EA Play, which comes out before my embargo. And it's like, what the hell's the point of the embargo then? Like, you know what I mean? Like, other people can talk about this game and stream this game and YouTube this game, and I can't. It's dumb. Like,
very dumb.
Just let people stream the game. They have it. They've bought it. It's not their fault they got it early. But that's capitalism. Anyway, where are we? The AI that kicked everyone's asses in StarCraft 2 has made a stunning advance in protein folding. This is from Andy Chalk over at PC Gamer. He writes, remember AlphaStar, the AI that kicked everyone's ass in StarCraft 2? That was cool. But it turns out that DeepMind, the Google-owned company that created it, had higher aspirations than just being really good at an RTS. As reported by The Guardian, DeepMind has another AI called AlphaFold, and it's recently made unprecedented advances in the field of protein folding. Protein folding is the process by which protein chains acquire their three-dimensional structures, which are foundational elements of biology. The more scientists can understand the process and predict how protein folding occurs, the better equipped they are to develop medical treatments for a tremendous range of illnesses and diseases. It also opens the door to other advancements like the development of better GM crops. The trouble is that there are a massive number of possible combinations. Humans have more than 20,000 proteins, according to a Carleton University report on using AI to develop a COVID-19 treatment, with more than 200 million potential interactions between them, and determining these shapes is a slow and painstaking process. Distributed computing projects like Folding at Home have helped, but the AlphaFold project promises much bigger things. It outperformed other entrants in a recent critical assessment of protein structure prediction program, which is obviously big, but it also maintained a level of accuracy on par with conventional lab-based methods. Quote, this is from the Royal Society President, Vicky Ramakrishnan. That'll do. Quote, this computational work represents a stunning advance on the protein folding problem, a 50-year-old grand challenge in biology. It has occurred decades before many people in the field would have predicted. It will be exciting to see the many ways in which it will fundamentally change biological research, end quote. We've got a second quote from EMBL European Bioinformatics Institute Director, Janet Thornton. This is a problem that I was beginning to think would not get solved in my lifetime. Knowing these structures will really help us to understand how human beings operate and function, and how we work. End quote. AlphaFold is not AlphaStar, but it's built on the foundations laid by the StarCraft 2 playing AI. Much like picking out school buses and stop signs in capture sequences is teaching Skynet what to shoot at, learning to play StarCraft at a high level helped DeepMind's AI project develop the ability to take on tougher, real-world problems. That's cool, isn't it?
That is pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool indeed.
That is.
I've got a couple of things I want to send to it, which might help us get out of a situation right now. Can we actually ask this question to this? But no, yeah, that's pretty cool. I won't lie, that is pretty darn ass cool. Yeah, I think
we taught the AI how to play StarCraft 2 to the point where like the best StarCraft 2 players in the world couldn't beat it, and now it's helping. Now its big brother, we'll say, its big brother is now unlocking the secrets of the human biology. Like, it's fascinating. Like, it's like a link you would never see coming, right? But there it is, and it makes perfect sense, right? It's just like, because it's all about analyzing, which is exactly what an RTS is when you break it down. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that, like, that foundational sort of knowledge that the original AI had, Alpha Star, would actually help AlphaFold to be able to do this. And I learned what protein folding is.
So when do you think Skynet attacks?
Or
when do you think we're put in the Matrix?
Who says we're not already in the Matrix? Have you looked around, clearly?
That is true, yeah. I don't think any non-crazy people would have put this government in power.
Exactly. Like, this story arc is too crazy for, not to have been, like,
to actually be real,
written or, like, created in some way, right? Like,
yep.
But no, like, yeah, it's cool. I wonder what else we can, like, teach an AI, like, from, like, video games that would apply then to, like, the basic scientific questions.
The Omni tool.
Oh, that'd be
cool. Where you
could
just go...
Do you know what I really hated about the Omni tool? In Mass Effect 3, they basically turned it into a knife. And I was like, that's dumb.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was dumb.
It was awesome.
It's a thing. It's like a tricorder. It's not a fucking Swiss Army knife.
I will remember this. I want to ask you some questions here.
You're gonna shout at me. Are you just gonna ask what I think? What is generally considered popular that I think is dumb?
No.
Okay.
Well,
cool.
No. That's a list. We would be here till tomorrow, Amy. That is a list that could cover the end of the podcast till next year.
Yeah.
And by the end of next year, you'll have a new list ready to go to start 2022.
Pretty much. But no, this is sweet. I like this. Like, I liked it. It was interesting, and I wanted to put it in the podcast.
Sounds kind of not Bob. I think it's what you said is like spot on. What can they do next? And I bet they are thinking that right now. They are probably thinking that. We
could make an AI play Life is Strange and teach it how to feel human emotions. Actually, I don't know why I would wish that on anything, because that seemed like if you...
Yeah, that might bring it to Skynet.
We taught you how to feel pain.
Yeah. No. Now feel my pain. Beep.
Oh, look. Nuclear launch codes. Skynet.
What are these random numbers?
It happened.
These don't look important, but I feel like I should put them in this little section of this computer.
Last news story. Again, this is much... Same principle. I wanted to include it because it's cool, but I also included it in the content drop because I realized it wasn't much to it, but I'm going to read it. So the link is in the content drop. The story is Demon Souls player discovers the PS5 records mic audio as it captures trophy game player via their own rousing boss kill clip. This is from Wesley and Poole over at Eurogamer. Did you know the PlayStation 5 records your microphone audio as it captures your trophy gameplay? I did not know that. One first-time Demon Souls player didn't, and only found out via a wonderful video that includes a rousing cheer. Redditor Hello I Am Jack uploaded the moment they defeated the rock-hard Tower Knight boss in the Demon Souls remake as captured by the PS5, and the clip includes a fantastic yes, followed by the kind of chuckle anyone who's finally defeated a boss after multiple attempts will relate to. The video link is in the description. It's going to be in the description under the content drop, but it's cool. It's a really cool feature as well.
I think, yeah, it's a funny little feature, like where you can literally, you're doing it, like, especially if you do it on like a difficult game and everything like that, Demon Souls, etc., like that. And I think when you get past the boss, you're just like, I'm gonna, yeah, type of thing. I think that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun, cute little thing.
It is. Now I need to go back through all of the trophies I've unlocked so far on my PS5 because I knew the video thing was a thing because we talked about it when I did the PS5 review. Didn't know about the microphone. Didn't know it could hear me. It's like a 15-second video, and I'm like, oh shit. Do I need to delete some videos off of my PS5? I haven't played any hard games. I'm pretty sure I wasn't saying anything. But I'm not so sure. I have a habit of sometimes talking to myself when I'm playing games. The streamer mode comes on, and I'm just like talking nonsense. And then I'm like, I'm sitting on my bed, like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I need to shut up. No one can see this. But maybe they can. But that's it for news stories. We've got announcements. I've changed them. The way they work. Instead of doing literally every announcement I could find in one document, we're just going to talk about the ones that we want to talk about. I made this change this morning, so Moody hasn't actually added any of the document this time. But I have made this change just in time for next week's Game Awards. Go figure. So I got some shit I want to talk about. I want to talk about Game Pass first. Control's in Game Pass now. That's a great game.
Good game, yeah.
It was one of my top 5 games of 2019. Like, there's a ton of games in Game Pass. Half of them are like new releases. So I can't tell you if those are any good or not because I haven't played them yet. But
yeah,
you should go check out Control if you've got Game Pass and you haven't played it before.
Control's a good game. I had a lot of fun with it. It's definitely worth a go, especially as it's on Game Pass, the best value in game right now. So
even better value, because alongside this, I also wrote the note of there's now a new limited time offer where if you're a new Game Pass subscriber, you instead of getting 1 month for $1, you can get 3 months for $1.
They always do this. It all keeps coming around all the time. Like every 3 months or so, they'll drop it down to $1 for new people. It's fantastic. Especially, it's a great way to get new people in. So
you can probably still do the thing where if you've got a bunch of Xbox Live Gold time, you can do the upgrade for $1, and then it converts all of your remaining gold time into Game Pass time, and you can get a ridiculous amount of Game Pass time for $1. But yeah, like Game Pass is still the best value deal in gaming, regardless of whether you spend $1 on it for 3 months or if you subscribe to it. And like games like Control getting out into it, which again, like I fucking loved it. I played it again a couple of months ago, didn't I, for the Alan Wake DLC.
Yes.
And I was like, it's still really good, like to play. Like I didn't play through the whole game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
If I did, I would have played the Ashtray Maze 100 times and been like, "This is the best thing ever."
I won't lie. I think what I hear, like people are just like, finally, because obviously this was rumored at the beginning of the year. For the longest time.
Was this just another rumor that was born of
well,
wishful thinking?
Didn't Phil Spencer like tweet something out and then he deleted it? Or something? I can't fully remember. Like I say, anyone who listens, please let us know what I'm talking about. It's been a long ass year. We've been in this year for 12 years. It's like we've been here for a long time. But Control is a good game. Go and give it a
go. Here's one that I and only I will be excited about because this is like my specific niche of like this game was made for Amy. And there'll be other people out there who are excited for it, but none of them will have ever appeared on Words About Games. There's a game got announced by Fail Better Games, the developers of Sunless Sea and Sunless Skies, called Mask of the Rose, which is a Fallen London prequel and a romantic visual novel. Sign me the fuck up.
If you say so.
I love those games. Like their writing in Fail Better's games is ridiculously good. It's like a Victorian era steampunk with Lovecraftian type horror situations. It's brilliant. Love it. Like Sunless Sea is like, I think London got taken away by bats and moved to the Undersea, which is like a sea that's underground, so it's always dark. It's incredible. It really is. Like the gameplay is really good too, but the writing is just superb. And the fact that they're making a romantic visual novel in the same universe, which is a prequel, is like, I'm in. I'm in. It's going to be a Kickstarter at some point next year, so I will tweet about that when I back it, and then we'll urge everybody else to do the same. And the last thing I added, the last bullet point I added, Silent Hill and Gravity Rush veteran devs form a new studio, which is the exact headline that I copy-pasted from gamesindustry.biz. Yeah, developers who have made like Silent Hill, Gravity Rush, Forbidden Siren, like they left Sony Japan and they've made their own studio, and they specifically, when they left and formed the studio, they were talking about how they wanted like their freedom. And all I thought back to, well, one, I thought, cool, there's some really talented people have made an independent studio to make a game.
Yeah.
But the other thing I thought back to was the article we read last week or the week before, about the rumors that Sony Japan's kind of getting sidelined.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this feels to me like a signpost that maybe there's some truth to everything that we heard about that.
Yeah, it does seem like it. There's no doubt about it. But as long as it seems like they're obviously very still passionate and they've landed on their feet to create and spoken to create, how about we just create the studio ourselves type of thing. And, they've got some talented teams there, talented people. So, let's hope to see a new game in what, like, say what, 4 years?
It's called Bokeh Game Studio. There's a YouTube video, which is like interviews and stuff with them. So it's Kishiro Toyama, who is the creator of Forbidden Siren, Gravity Rush, and worked on Silent Hill. Teamed up with Kazunobu Sato, who worked on who was a producer for The Last Guardian and was the lead game designer on Puppeteer, and Junya Okura, who worked on Gravity Rush. And it's the quote was, "It's hard, there are responsibilities, but we have our freedom. This is the most important. I want to enjoy creating from now on." So yeah, it sounds like there's like, this isn't just a, like if me and you just said, let's make a game studio, like, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, let's do it. This is more I fucking hate this place. I need to get out of here. Let's do something about it, kind of thing. That's conjecture from me. That's in no way necessarily true. That's what it feels like from the statement of, like, I'm looking forward to doing this thing again, where it's like, so you, like, I can read into that and saying, so you weren't before. Oh, that's a shame.
Basically, yeah, that's what happens in pretty much all type of jobs these days.
Yeah,
some
it could just be
suffer, or some get out and say, I want to enjoy what I like.
Yeah, it could just be a personal thing of not wanting to be like part of a big corporation anymore. It's just in combination with a very recent report about Sony Japan. It's like I put the two together, and it's like, okay, maybe there's something here. We'll see. We'll find out. We always find out eventually. We got a content drop with a lot of stuff in it. For starters, somewhere in that link list below, there's the Demon Souls video I mentioned via Eurogamer. We've got a pair of gamesindustry.biz articles, which seems to be a weekly occurrence. The first one is titled, "Was Activision Blizzard Right to Ignore Mobile 10 Years Ago This Month?" which is it's a regular feature they do at games.biz where they re-examine an article that they wrote 10 years ago, or like they re-examine the news from 10 years ago, and see what it looks like. And one of the big things was Activision Blizzard ignoring the mobile platform 10 years ago. And was that a mistake? It's quite interesting. The second one is about SteamWorld Firm. Is titled SteamWorld Firm Thunderful's quest to become AA starts with an IPO. So, Thunderful Publishing, a really cool developer, makes really cool games. Is trying to make itself bigger. SteamWorld's good. There's like a bunch. There's like a platforming Metroidvania. There was a stealth game. There was a card-based RPG. So they definitely know how to mix things up a bit. We've got a Kotaku article, How to Chip Away at a Massive Games Backlog. I feel like I don't need to describe what this article is about. It's help on how to chip away at a massive games backlog. Because if you say you don't have a massive games backlog, I know you're lying. This should be a place where you don't have to do that. There's no shame and no judgment in there. You should see my pile of games that I still need to play. It's huge.
The first thing they say, assess the situation, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. You've got to figure out, it's fine. No, there's no judgment.
Start big.
No shaming zone. We all have them. We all have a backlog. We all continuously buy new games that we'll never get around to because they were cheap and throw them on that backlog. It's fine. We all do it.
Learn to quit. Consider a game on demand service.
I feel like that's words.
Yeah, I was going to say that screw this article. Amy, get rid of it now.
No, I'm not getting rid of it. It's a really good article.
I am calling in my one and only favour of 2020. Get rid of this article.
No.
God damn. No, go give it a like. Go and give it a like.
Go give it a read. It's cool. We've got another one from PC Gamer. Cyberpunk 2077 meets World of Warcraft in this incredible fan-made crossover. Essentially, this is what it sounds like. There's a video someone made, which is like a World of Warcraft meets Cyberpunk 2077 type deal. It's really good. Go watch it. Support people making cool things by watching and or reading the cool things that they make. And the last one is the Gymquisition this week. The $70 price tag is actually indefensible, which is a even-handed discussion of one man who talks about the price rise in video games, and he says a lot of things that I've said on this podcast, but he says them succinctly and with great humor involved.
He's more blunt.
Yeah, he's more blunt. Well, I'm pretty blunt.
I think you've got a couple of levels behind him still. No offense.
Aye, probably right. Like, I'm more blunt than most, but I feel like he's definitely way more blunt than I am.
I think you've probably learnt the bluntness from him. Watch a few videos, just like, yeah, you know what? I like you.
Yeah, maybe.
He's a bit crazy, but he's also he
makes great points.
Yeah, he backs the worst. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, he backs it up. That's the thing about it. He doesn't just go on and scream on the internet, and he does scream on their videos and goes a little bit squeaky and goes a little bit crazy on them, but he backs it up with hard ass facts. When you see rumor people and all like this saying, "I heard this type of thing," they have nothing to back it up with. He
like
backs it up.
Battle Royale and Halo rumor that we've heard now like 3 times in 3 years.
He backs it up with hard facts, and that's what you want from any YouTuber who reports things. You want them to be backed up with facts. So
it's called research, and we just proved in this podcast that's not difficult sometimes.
Literally. We proved that in 30 seconds. We did a company's job.
This game's out next week, Moody. Why don't you tell the fine people about these games out next week while I go pee?
The games that are coming out next week, ladies and gentlemen. December 8th, Call of the Sea, PC, Xbox, the new Xbox, the Xbox One, and Game Pass. Call to the Sea is let me try that again. Call of the Sea is an otherworldly tale of mystery and love set in the 1930s South Pacific. Explore a lush island paradise, solve puzzles, and unlock secrets in the hunt for your husband's missing expedition. Yeah, that's it. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, PlayStation 4, the new Xbox, the Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Enter a delightful new dimension of puzzle challenge when Japanese beloved series Ponyo Ponyo and the world-renowned Tetris blend their legendary gameplay in this unique crossover. Temtem Early Access, PlayStation 5. This is the Pokemon ripoff. Isn't it? That's it, isn't it? Catch it, forget. It's a Pokemon ripoff. There, that's all you need to know. I think that's fair to say. Amy's going to hate me if she ever listens this back through, but so I'm okay. December 9th, Unto the End. PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Game Stadia, and Game Pass. Nintendo Switch on December 17th. This is a challenging combat adventure game in the style of cinematic platform. The story is simple. Get home to your family, master reacted combat and intense sword fights. Spot on opportunities to trade and use items. Woodsalt PC Nintendo Switch is an adventure game set on the planet of New Terra, 1,000 years after Earth was evacuated during a catastrophic natural disaster and an attack by a giant creature. Sounds like what's happening to the world now. December 10th, Cyberpunk 2077. PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PlayStation 5, I believe. No, they're not. But no, aren't they going to be on those consoles anyway?
It's backwards compatible. The next gen
Okay.
things are coming next year.
Oh, well, I thought...
Like, I'm getting the PS4 disc, and I can put it in my PS5, and it'll run on my PS5, but there's no next gen enhancements.
Oh, but that box is
It's the PS4
released.
box.
Oh, is it? Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was a little confused. This is an open world action adventure story set in Night City and a megalopolis obsessed with power, glamour, and body modification. And play as V, a mercenary outlaw going after a one-of-a-kind implant that is the key to immortality. Why the fuck would you want to be immortal? You got Keanu Reeves in this, ladies and gentlemen, so you can go whoa in it. December 11th, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond Oculus. Take a fight with war-torn Europe in Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. The franchise returns to its roots. Oculus? Complete with a deep single-player campaign, multiplayer mods, and powerful interviews with survivors and veterans of the Second World War.
I think what they mean by returns to its roots is it's not a subpar COD clone set in Afghanistan like the last ones.
Abal, a wildlife adventure, PC and Apple Arcade.
Alba.
Even the smallest person can make a big difference. Join Abal as she sets out to save her beautiful island and its wildlife, and possibly start a revolution.
I mean, I feel like starting a revolution in real life, so video games will give me good practice.
That's very good. But there's now something new, ladies and gentlemen, as you may know, as you definitely will not know, because Amy dropped this on me today as well. We are going to pick our picks of the week. What games are we going to be picking, and our most anticipated games for next week? Amy, what have you picked?
There'll probably be more differences in the future. Obviously, I mean, I've picked Cyberpunk 2077. That's my pick of the week because it's Cyberpunk 2077. It's like one of the biggest releases of the year. It's been delayed. It's been imminently coming out at just about every stage of the year. So I feel like we've been locked in this sort of it's nearly here mentality for like the entire of 2020. So now that it's actually finally nearly here, even though I still don't quite believe it.
I think it's been placed in every season of the year: winter, autumn, summer, and spring.
Probably. But yeah, like I'm only like I'm only like 25% certain there's going to be enough transphobia in it to make me want to stop playing the game, and those are pretty good odds for where this game like came from. But no, it's the big open world RPG, and I know we just talked about how most open worlds are shit, but The Witcher 3 wasn't, and that was the last game by the developers of this, so I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's good. I'm not going to say I anticipate it to be a great game. I'm hoping it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I like what we said from the opening of
Yeah,
this
and your
episode,
pick is
like,
obviously pick of the week. Is
mine
for
is
us.
Cyberpunk 2077 as well. It was going to be nothing else. We know this, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I'm surprised any game is coming around this month, next week, with this game. Even if you're on a different platform, I don't give a flying hoot. You're brave. But either way, yeah, it is one of the most anticipated games of the year. The developer, a fantastic developer, even though they've crunched like crazy, which we have rightfully told them off about this and everything like that. We are still looking forward to this game. I can't wait to play it. Open world or not, like I say, I don't think it's like what we said from the beginning. It's not that it's open world; it's because this game's not that good. At the end of the day, so we're rooting for the game, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It's a good game. I come back on our weekly review podcast in just over a week, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. Not.
And that's
Here is the list. You know the list. This is the list.
that's true. It's time, Amy, to move on to OpenCritic head to head.
It is. This is the game myself and Moody play every single week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest to the OpenCritic average of the game in question gets 1 point. If you guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Immortals Fenyx Rising, which apparently doesn't have a colon in it. Which just makes the title nonsense. But that's how they wrote it, so that's how it is. I guessed it would get an OpenCritic average of 73. Moody guessed it would get an OpenCritic average of 85. We almost split the difference. At the time of recording, Immortals Fenyx Rising has an OpenCritic average of 80, which means Moody gets a point. And with 2 weeks remaining in
I've been on a bit of a roll of late.
OpenCritic head to head. You
haven't got a point since Dirt 5, which was October?
December. November. It was the beginning of November.
It?
Hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on that kind of a roll.
Yeah. So that's how balances though. You went on a run for your bit, and I've come back. It's just that it's been like that all year. It's been very good.
I started out getting a bunch in a row, then you got a bunch in a row. We've never just gone back and forth. Like when I read the game lists, if you have like an inkling of when these games came out, you can see the clumps like quite easily. But yeah, so with 2 weeks remaining, the scores are Amy 21, Moody 23, with 3 draws. And as I said, I'm not going to read the full games list out until we have finished. You realize we're not going to find the result. Like we're not like on the podcast. We're not going to do the results until like until the first podcast of 2021.
Yeah, because by the time the last episode comes around, we're probably going to know who's won.
Well, if I get a point for the next game, I'm within a point. There's 1 week left, so again, though, it's possible I could get 4 points, or you could get 4 points. Like that's how it works. With a lucky guess. Either way, I won Fantasy Game Critic in like fucking September or some shit. So you know, I'm good. I'm okay. If I think if I'd lost both, I would have been like, oh fuck it.
Well, it's gonna be interesting next year for that, though.
I hope so.
Well, this is the thing about it. I didn't know what I was coming into with that type of thing when it came to.
I know you kept it going. You kept it interesting for a while.
So I'm surprised I did as good as I did. So
you did. I'm close to potentially maybe hitting 200 points on that.
It all depends on this game that we're going to be picking now.
It's the only game I've got left, unless Hollow Knight comes out by surprise. So this week we are going to attempt to guess the OpenCritic average of Cyberpunk 2077. I thought for about 3 minutes I considered having any other game that wasn't Cyberpunk just to for the lols, but
I would have argued with this.
just like we're gonna guess the OpenCritic average of Puyo Tetris 2.
Yeah. Ubisoft games, I completely understand why we did that and everything like that. But for this one, this is the biggest. What apart from Last of Us Part 2 was the second one.
Yeah, which was a draw.
So, yeah, that was funny. Okay, so Cyberpunk 2077.
Sorry?
96.
Holy shit. Holy shit. You realize the highest scoring game of the year so far on OpenCritic is 94, right?
Hades, yeah.
Okay. Holy shit, that's big. 96? Damn, son.
I think it will go down. I'm just hoping it's going to be 96.
Oh, right, I see how it is. You're just hoping it hits high, and then that's when we record.
Last of Us went high.
That's when we record the podcast.
You went 97 for Last of Us. I went 95, I believe, and it went 96 when we did the. When
it was something like that. I know it was. I know there was like obviously, yeah, there was a point in between, which is what it hit.
Yeah, so then it's dropped down to 93 now.
Yeah, I think I said it was. Yeah, I think I remember making a speech about it. It's gonna be as high rated as the best rated game on OpenCritic, Super Mario Odyssey. Which, like, I mean, Super Mario Odyssey is an amazing game, right? But like, if I said to you, there's a game on OpenCritic with 97, guess it, and you didn't already know what the answer was, I don't know if you would say Super Mario Odyssey. Like, I don't know if that's what you'd go with.
No, I wouldn't. I might have picked a Mario game, but I don't think it was Odyssey I would have picked. This is the thing. To what I know, the review embargo drops on the 9th. We then record on the 10th. That's not many days for it to lower on a high, to go down that fast. So that's why I'm thinking. I think it's going to be. I could think at the beginning it's going to be really high.
90.
But we'll see what happens.
Is my answer.
Go 90. Oh, this is
90.
So if it's 93,
yes, there is a potential for tie. I think there's a potential for it to be a little bit lower than I probably would have assumed it would be at the beginning of the year. But again,
I don't think so.
You know my thoughts on review scores. I think they're ridiculous, so I don't put too much thought into what I'm saying at this particular moment in time. But yeah, I think if I had to guess, I'd say it's going to be around about the 90, maybe 91, 92, maybe 89, 88. We'll see. We shall see. It's not winning Game of the Year at the Game Awards, though. That much I can tell you for a fact.
Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is 92.
That makes sense. See, the thing is, it's difficult to predict, right? Because if you think back to The Witcher 3, it's an amazing, immersive, open-world RPG. But there are definitely some faults that I can still remember to this day, but it still gets a 92. So it's like, that's what makes this game so ridiculous and impossible to predict. Like, that's what makes Fantasy Critic such a ridiculous game on the face of it, because it's like, you can't predict these things.
That's true, yeah.
Like, have you ever tried pointing Geralt? Have you ever played The Witcher 3 and tried pointing Geralt at a specific direction? It's impossible. You can't do it. But yeah, it's whatever, right? It's just a bit of fun. Yeah, 90. Sorry, I'm going. I thought about rolling the dice again, but
it'll hit 75.
To Avengers. I'm never doing that again. That was the only time I've ever guessed a score for OpenCritic head-to-head where I knew I'd lost the second I said it out loud.
What was the number? 90,
97. It was 97. And I was like, well, fuck it. I've lost. But a woman of principles, I stuck to it. I said I was going to roll the dice and stick to the result. And I rolled the dice and stuck to the result.
Thing is, what if I win by 1 point and it's because of Avengers? Because of that roll.
The thing is, Moody, all of the draws of the three, because we've drawn 3 times: Last of Us Part 2, SpongeBob SquarePants, and Star Wars Squadrons. And that was, at the time of recording, it was a draw because it was an even split between what I guessed and what you guessed. But I think for at least 2 of those games, the next day it broke in your direction. So I can't really be mad if I lose by 1 point because I rolled the dice on Avengers. Because if you go down that route, there's 2 games that you probably would have got points on if we'd recorded on a different day. You know what I mean? Like, so it's fine, whatever. And I'm not really that serious about this game. I think it's just a fun way to end the podcast.
Yeah, it's a fun time, like I said.
And you know, my previous co-host used to complain that we don't talk about video games enough, like the actual video games. So I'll add a game. I'll add a game to it where we guess the OpenCritic scores of games. And then he was like, bye, I'm off. And I was like, well, fine. I changed for you. And you left me. I'm just kidding. I love you, Keith. That's it. Podcast done.
Done and dusted. So what's your problem with Mass Effect 3?
Oh my god, we don't have enough time.
No, yeah, it's a few times. No, at the end of the day, it's all subjective. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It doesn't really bother me whatsoever. No, I'm just very curious because the few times we've talked about Mass Effect before, you have deliberately, I feel, literally said, "Yeah, I'm not playing Mass Effect 3." Like you've said, "I'm gonna play Mass Effect 1 and 2 if I do get the HD collection or remaster the remake what's coming out next year, but I'm not gonna play them for 3." And I'm just like, "Oh, look, it's subjective and everything like that."
I mean, it's a joke, and I obviously will play through, but you know,
no, but I'm just fascinated. What are your overall problems with the game? I'm just curious.
I do have a lot of problems with that game. Because I was in this very small, and I'll answer your question in a separate thing because I need to gather my thoughts together because I was not expecting this question to have to answer this question. But yeah, I was in a very small niche of people. So there were people who loved Mass Effect 3. There were people who hated the ending, right? And those were like the 2 main groups. I was in this incredibly small subset of people who didn't like Mass Effect 3 for a variety of reasons, including the ending. Yeah, I thought the ending was bad, but it wasn't like the only problem with an otherwise fantastic game that a lot of people were saying. And I got irate and angry because people would be like, "What did you think of Mass Effect 3?" And I'd be like, "I didn't like it." And they'd be like, "Come on, man. The ending doesn't ruin the whole game." And I'd be screaming into the void that it wasn't just the ending, but I was getting put in the same group. So no one ever listened to what I had to say about Mass Effect 3.
Well, I happily will listen to you here. That's why I've asked you.
We'll have to do it, but yeah, I need to collect my thoughts on it. Because there's a lot, and I don't want to
Okay. So then we wait until the remake comes out. We both replay it again, and then we can have a discussion again if you want.
Yeah, sure. Okay, then, oh, Matt, no, you just tricked me. I said I wasn't going to play the trilogy, and now you just tricked me into playing the trilogy. Son of a bitch. Oh, no, now I'm going to have to play it. I'm having flashbacks. I'm having flashbacks to all the things I don't like about Mass Effect 3. Oh, it's all coming back to me now. I hate you so much. But like I just said, I'm a woman of my word. I have honor. We will table this discussion, and we'll do a weekly review where the main topic is Mass Effect.
Okay.
It might, but because we're gonna one part of it's gonna be focused on the third one. What I'm gonna say is not the next. So it comes out on a Friday, let's say, and then we do the thing on the Monday. We're not doing that one. You're going to give me time. I'm going to play all 3 of them. And then we'll do one at a later date.
Well, I don't think either of us could get all 3 done if it came out on a Friday, and then we would have to get it done for Sunday.
No, yeah. It'll be a few weeks. But I will play all 3 of them. We will discuss all 3 games.
Cool. I just hope we remember this.
I will be. Oh. I really don't like it as well. Shit. It's not even me trying to be a bitch or trying to be fishy. It's just I don't like that game. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some great shit in that game. I have some good memories of it, but yeah, it's also
there's some fundamental parts that you just I can't get along with this game, which is fair. Yeah.
I'll tell you one story about it though. You know when they did the the extended cut DLC.
Yes.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna play this because I want to see what they've done, right? And they were like, it's so when you start, it's basically 99% of everything that's different starts from when you run down the hill and it explodes and knocks you out. But what they said was you have to start from when you attack the Cerberus base many hours before that moment. And like an idiot, I took them at face value. So I started the game from a save I had from before the attack on the Cerberus base. So I played a game I didn't really like that much for like 5 hours just to see like 20 minutes of new material at the end. That probably didn't help. That's one that sticks in my mind where I was like, you fucking dickheads made me play all of this for no reason.
Yep.
Nothing was different, Moody. Nothing.
I know myself. I know that.
But I played it all because I was like, well, maybe there's some changes. There wasn't.
I'm excited for this discussion. I think it's going to be a fun discussion.
Well, New Year makes new videos means we don't necessarily have to wait. Hey, I'll do what if I did a retrospective review of Mass Effect 3? No, we'll see.
Okay, so I'm guessing off the top of my head right now, we'll probably. Do you think we'll get the release date next in the Game Awards? Do you think they'll show a trailer? They say in spring, aren't they? So that's the end of April.
Spring is technically, April, May, June.
Yeah, so they say but I'm pretty sure they've said they're gonna have it. It's gonna be out before like May. So
I think it's gonna come out in like April. They'll either knock it out just before the end of the financial year, which will be in March, or it'll be just after in April.
Yeah,
it'll be one of the two. I don't think it'll be.
Yeah. No, but do you think it will get a release date next week from them?
I think it's possible.
Yeah, that's true.
So far, it's only been teased. I don't know what. Like, this is the first Game Awards I'm going into where I don't have a strong grasp of what I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
Whereas, like in like the years past, it's like obviously there's been surprises and there's been things I've never heard of before, but you get an idea or a sense for like some of the things that you're definitely gonna see, or like you think you're probably gonna see at the Game Awards. This year, I've got no idea. I don't know what we're gonna get. Like, even if I had to speculate, it's like I can't even think of anything because the pandemic, like we're at the stage now where the pandemic has really done a number on everything.
Yeah, that's true. The funny thing is, last year when it was coming up to the Game Awards, I literally said, I was asked, "Are you staying up to watch it?" I said, "No, man, nothing's gonna happen. I'm going to bed." Wake up, they've revealed the Xbox Series X. I was like,
and the very first PS5 game.
Yeah, I was like, God damn it.
Honestly, I watch it. Like, I don't stream it anymore. I used to stream it, but I stopped doing that. Like, I watch it because it's a really entertaining show now. Like, I find the show itself really, really good to watch. Yeah. Like, whereas, like, before, in, like, sort of, like, the early 2010s, I used to watch it because there were reveals. And the show was terrible. Whereas now it's like, the reveals aren't quite as grand in scale, for the most part, as they probably were in the earlier years of the show, but the show's better, so I don't mind watching it. Like, I remember Doom, when they did the Doom soundtrack live performance, which, like, stuff like that was fucking amazing. Like, last year when they had Churches do the Death Stranding theme, and I was like, this is great. Like, it's not an unrelated musical act that's here for no reason, like Green Day. It's like, this is a performance of a song from a game.
That's the thing about what with no offense comes across very annoying when you hear music that are not a part. I'm not saying, you singers, you maybe game players and everything like that. That's fantastic. We'll always celebrate you. Your music is not associated to a video game. We should be either hearing the themes or the scores.
Like, I like Green Day, right? I like Green Day, but I would have much rather the musical performance of that moment have been like I don't know what game came out last year that had a great soundtrack. Like the Sayonara Wild Hearts soundtrack was really good, right? If it was like a musical performance of the music from that, or like they had the orchestra because they had the orchestra the year before, and I feel like they really underused that orchestra.
Especially the year before, you had God of War.
Yeah. Like this year, there's been some killer soundtracks for games that you could really do a lot with in terms of performance, and I don't want to see like some completely unrelated musical act, whether they're good or not. Like I like Green Day's music, but I was not watching that part. I went to do other things.
Well, it's gonna be like well, like right now we don't even know what's he actually doing, really, do we?
No, it doesn't help that it's not going to be like this big stage show production thing like we're used to. BioWare is trending. Hold on.
BioWare is trending. They've released a race there, haven't they?
No, we'll talk about it later. That's going to do it anyway, because otherwise we're doing another part, a news part of the podcast. But let's go. Say bye, Moody. We'll talk about the BioWare trend next week.
Bye, everybody. Are you fucking kidding me?